brain line.
You good? Okay. All right, we're going to call the meeting to order, the work session. It's 5:03. Could you do roll call, please, Jeffrey?
Commissioner Byrd.
Here.
Commissioner Davenport.
Here.
Councilmember Joyce.
Here.
Commissioner Lovelady.
Here.
Commissioner Lowry.
Here.
Commissioner McCullough. Commissioner Turk.
Here.
Commissioner Whitehead.
Here.
Chairman Turner.
All right, first up, citizen comments. Anybody signed up for citizen comments?
No, sir.
We move on to zoning cases, which we have none. We have 4 subdivision cases this evening. We're going to start with SD 2201 Darlington Phase 1, and I'm going to turn it over to Jeffrey.
All right, like Dylan said, this is case SD 2201. This is Darlington Phase 1. This is Phase 1 of the master plan that we approved last year, at the beginning of last year. This is 24.79 acre site located north of Nursery Road, east of Winchester subdivision, south of Moffett Road. The owners, Mark and Tina Davis. The undeveloped land is covered with grass and brush and bounded by residential land. Use to the west, commercial to the east boundary of the property. Phase 1 of the subdivision development will be comprised of 50 residential lots. The roadway will be paved, curbed, and guttered section with closed drainage system. Concrete sidewalks will be placed during the house construction and lighting provided by Alabama Power. There will be a green space provided at the east of the subdivision, which will be used as a park. The subdivision will have 2 points of access from the Winchester subdivision and from Nursery Road. And that second access that's on Winchester will be in Phase 2 of the subdivision. And those will immediately follow construction of this one. Like I said, this is Snow Road, east of Winchester subdivision, south of Moffett Road. And this one's 50 lots. The whole thing is 127 for Phase 1, 2, and 3. Phase 1 is just 50. Minimum lot size is 0.23 acres. Detention area is 4.92 acres. Common area is 6.47 acres. And the total space is 24.79. Density is 1 lot per 0.41 acres. And this is a medium density, so it's the R2. All required documents and fees have been submitted for Phase 1. Driven Engineering has written a letter recommending approval. And this is just a vicinity map to show you. And Phase 1 I'll show you the plan in a minute for Phase 1. It kind of cuts off right here. And then you'll have your access on Nursery Road. And then Phase 2, you'll have access through Winchester. And this is access and off Nursery Road. And all these lots are 80-foot frontage, which is in agreement with R2. And then you'll have Phase 2 here, and Phase 3 is going to be up here. And then your second access will be right here in Phase 2. And I'll go ahead and show you the master plan too. It'll pull up. which, like I said, it's kind of turned sideways, but you got phase 1 right here, which is what I just showed you, and this will be phase 2, and phase 3 is over here, and this will be that second access in phase 2. But for now, they'll just have that one access for phase 1. I think they'll do a temporary turnaround for phase 2 while they're constructing phase 1. That's it for that one.
All right, questions, comments, Councilwoman Joyce?
How many lots are in phase 2 and phase 3?
It's 127 total. They haven't submitted 2 and 3 yet, so.
I was just looking at the master plan. No, I'm just wondering why the second access, with 50 lots, you know, is much further down.
I guess that
So
would get
they'll
majority
have to
of phase 3, 2 and 3 will really, I guess, use that second access. Give me a turn it so y'all can see it better.
And as far as the park goes, the green space, when will that, is that gonna be with phase 1 or not till phase 3 is complete?
That should be phase 3, correct? The park and everything, or green space.
We're going to complete the retention area for all 3 phases in phase 1.
Okay.
And that's the green space?
And complete the little turnaround, little parking area
In what phase?
in phase 1.
You're talking about the bottom left, or the left-hand side of phase 1? Is that the detention part you're talking about? Or you talking about the far east detention area?
Should I
Yeah, you
point it out?
There.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Approach the bench.
Approach the bench. This is the retention area. And I'm not sure if you got a shot of the drainage, but there'll be a little parking area right here to, you know, get out and I guess walk the dog. It's not a huge green area, but it's it's retention and green area. So I guess it is a green area.
Is that it? Anything else?
No.
Commissioner Loveland?
No questions.
Commissioner Davenport?
I have a question. And you may remember better than me, but when we did the master plan, there were residents, I think one was out of Kensington and then one was out of Winchester. And their area of concern was the drainage headed toward Nursery down that side, and you said you were gonna go look at it to make sure. And your engineer, I believe, said that he would look at it as well. Was there a problem there? Did you address that problem? Does it drain, or, you know?
It drains.
Okay.
I mean, it was you might want to speak for it, Jared, but.
Well, y'all may
it was
remember
a
more of the
already
details, but I
detention
remember
area.
them
It's already a
saying.
detention area.
Right, that's right, and y'all were gonna shift yours and let it run down that side, on that front area on the Nursery side.
Right. Less water is going that way now.
Okay. So we don't anticipate that being a problem any longer,
There's
based on what's there?
another detention area here.
Or when you finish, you don't anticipate, once you get, are you gonna have to touch it or fool with it, or more so, or it's just part of your plan and you're gonna go in and you don't, it's not a problem for you?
There shouldn't be no flooding.
Okay,
And
It's
one,
less water.
Excuse me, one thing, I was just gonna comment, one thing for the whole phase, we're basically doing all of the stormwater
Sir,
detention.
could you state your name just
Yes.
for the record?
Just go, keep up to the podium.
Sorry.
I'm Jerry Luker with Speaks and Associates, and we're the engineer on the project. I just wanted to comment that in phase one, we're really doing all of the stormwater detention for the whole development initially and everything.
Okay.
And I don't remember the specific comments that you're talking about, but we worked really in depth to make sure we take care of the drainage in the area.
Right, well, it was somebody, I think one of them was from Kensington, correct me if I'm wrong, it was one from Kensington and one from.
I think she complained that she didn't want,
Winchester.
she loves seeing the birds. You know, and
Yeah,
I think she was
now that you
worried
say that, yeah, but.
That was
now
her
that you
complaint,
say
I
that,
think.
I do remember the birds now that you say that, but I
Yeah, I
think
agree
they
with her on
both
seeing.
said something about the drainage on that side, and you said, oh, you know, you were gonna go look at it, and that y'all would correct it, if there was a problem there, you would correct it when you did your plans.
the bottom of that area was flat. And
Okay.
it was made to hold water
Gotcha.
as it rained.
I gotcha. So y'all have worked all that in and we're headed in the right direction. Okay, okay.
Anything else?
No, I'm good.
Commissioner Whitehead?
I don't know, something.
Commissioner Byrd, questions or comments?
The only question I had is about the, travel, the cars and all like that. That is a tremendous place where going in and out. There are so many vehicles that go in and out on, Nursery Road, either going to MGM or Semmes Middle or something like that. Down, and also down. I sat at the Heritage Park one day. It was close to 3 o'clock, but I counted 50 cars in 5 minutes. And I said, I can't believe this. So I guess the thing would be traffic. How is the traffic going to? Have you got anything for the traffic?
I think we
With just
addressed
one,
that.
just one
comment.
entrance at that time, and you're gonna add that many more cars to those people. Every family probably has 2 to 3 cars.
Yes, ma'am, but, I mean, it's within the criteria. We looked at the traffic along both Nursery Road and Snow Road, and, I mean, we think we're within, acceptable parameters there and everything.
Ms. Byrd, I will say that, Driven Engineering, of course, they do our engineer reviews. They did have some back and forth regarding the drainage you were talking about, and with the traffic analysis. Our subregs has a formula for whether one's required or not, but with the 2 entrances, they didn't meet that requirement, so they didn't have to provide us a traffic study according to the subregs because of those 2 entrances. But I don't know if anybody can predict how bad it's gonna be, but there's a lot of traffic out, especially on Snow Road. I would say probably with all those subdivisions going up and down Snow Road, it's probably even worse.
Well, I know there was a question of somebody who was here wanting to know about the traffic and saying the traffic was gonna be really bad because it already was with the schools involved.
And that's one of the things on the Mobile long range plan, is to 4 or 5 lane Snow Road. They've been talking about it ever since I've been here for 8 or 9 years. I don't know where they're at on that, but that is in the plans to hopefully identify some of that, because Snow Road is, I'm sure it's overcapacitated at this point.
It's recently been a light added there at
Which
Nursery.
does help to have that
Yes.
turn lane.
An intersection where.
Because I live right there.
Anything else, Ms. Byrd?
No, thank you.
Commissioner Lowry, questions or comments? I had one question at the top. I know this is phase 2, real quick, but when we were talking about the green space and everything, I remember a discussion about those big lots. I can't read that far, but
You blow it up, Jeff?
is that green space also? Those across the very north edge?
I guess the northeast corner, we're gonna give that to South Alabama Utilities for a future tank site.
Well side.
Well site, I'm sorry, for kind of help accommodate future growth for the area.
Okay. And
Talking about the shaded area?
Yeah.
Yes, the
Yeah.
kind of northeast corner.
And then below that is the common area, detention area, right?
Yes.
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 And that's all I had. All right, any other questions, comments? Okay, we're good. All right, so let's move on to number 2 under subdivision cases, which is SD 2202 Dunwood Phase 3 final.
This is case SD 2202. It's Dunwood Phase 3 final. Owner is TC Development. Engineer is Andy Bobie with Dewberry. Dunwood's Phase 3 is a 29 lot major subdivision. The master plan was originally 4-phase development that was approved by City of Mobile, but was amended and reduced to 3-phase development. Inspection with developer and Driven Engineering took place, and a punch list was created. Punch list items were completed, and Driven Engineering has recommended approval of the subdivision. Dunwood is off of Silver Pine Road. It's on the south side of Silver Pine. It's 29 lots. Minimum lot size is 7,200 square feet. Density is 3.63 lots per acre. And this is a R3, which is the high density single family. It's like 70-foot lots. All required documents and fees have been submitted for the development, and Driven Engineering has recommended approval for Dunwood Phase 3 final. And this is, I know it's kind of hard to see, but I wanted to zoom out and show you. This is Schillinger's Road, Silver Pine runs here, and this is all Magnolia Springs, just to kind of give you an idea of where it is. And it would be, Phase 3 would be right here. It ties these streets together and then these streets together, and I'll show you the plans. They had Phase 4 down in here, and they ended up cutting Phase 4 out. That's where it's connected those two streets on that left side, and then connecting these streets on that side. And this agrees with the master plan. Like I said, they brought it before us last year, and brought this phase, but it didn't agree with the master plan, so they had to go in there and resubmit the master plan, and then we approved the master plan, and then they did the preliminary for Phase 3, and we approved that as well. So this is the final. Infrastructure is already built. Driven Engineering did the inspection, and they recommended it, that we approve it. And that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Questions and comments, Councilwoman Joyce?
No.
Commissioner Lovelace?
No questions.
Commissioner Davenport?
Is this the one where the citizens showed up that were having the problem with the homeowners association?
Yeah, for the
Okay.
earlier phases.
Yeah, okay.
Anything else?
And we voted, we approved the master plan, right?
And the
One they
preliminary
said-
for
okay.
Phase 3.
Okay, I'm good.
Commissioner Whitehead? Commissioner Byrd?
No questions.
Commissioner Lowry? Commissioner Lowry? You got any questions?
Did we get the drainage situation corrected on this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all.
We didn't have any issues. I will say on this one, it was recently annexed. It wasn't annexed prior to us approving the master plan or the preliminary plat, so this is annexed now, but it does fit into the criteria of R3 and meets all those zoning regulations.
Thank you, Jesse. No other questions, comments? Okay. All right, let's move on to number 3 on the agenda, SD 2203, Morris. And I'm gonna turn it over to
This is case SD 2203, Morris Estates LLC. Owner is John G. Morris, and the engineer surveyor is John Crenshaw. Morris Estates LLC subdivision is a three lot minor subdivision. This subdivision is located off Broadus Loop Road and Vivian Broadus Road. The applicant is asking for a waiver for subdividing on a private road. This property is incorporated into the city limits and is zoned R1, residential low density. All the requirements are in compliance with the zoning ordinance and the subdivision regulations. Like I said, this is Broadus Loop and Vivian Broadus. Closest intersection is McCreary Road Extension and Broadus Loop. It's 3 lots. Minimum lot size is 0.47 acres. Density is 1 dwelling per 0.59 acres. And it's a R1. All the documents have been submitted and paid, and the applicant is requesting a waiver for a private road subdivision. And you have Broadus Loop Road here, and then Vivian Broadus runs here.
And Vivian Broadus is the private road.
I was fixing to ask, am I the only one that don't know which one the private road is?
It's right there at the intersection of McCrary lot.
And lot,
So if you go
Right behind the rear.
yeah, okay,
Right.
okay, got it.
And this is, they're wanting to split it here and here, which would make this front Vivian Broadus, the private road.
There's an existing house on there, as you can see.
Is there an existing entrance to the private road, or would they create that? Okay,
They would create
got it.
Is that everything, Jeffrey?
Yeah.
Okay.
except for that one.
Questions and comments, Councilwoman Joyce?
You scrolled through the little, case summary, so, and we've got another case after this, a number 4, so.
Yeah. No, number 4 is on
same
this
name.
side.
So is this the waiver under our recently adopted new procedure, or is this the plat? What is this?
This is subdivision.
Yeah, yeah, it's brought with it together.
It's not separated out?
No.
Anything else?
No.
Commissioner Lovelady?
I don't think so.
Commissioner Davenport?
I can't see it, can you blow it up, Jeffrey?
Yeah.
Is that a road coming in with the little dots? It looks like little speckled dots
That's the
on it.
driveway for the
Driveway,
existing house.
okay.
Oh, here?
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
And then this is a gate that runs along here.
This is
Okay.
this is lot 1 in
And
front.
so that's not the dividing line there?
No, no, no.
Okay.
Dividing line would be here and then here.
Okay.
This is lot 1, it fronts Broadus Loop.
Okay.
This one fronts Broadus Loop, and this is, I'm sorry, this one fronts Broadus Loop.
Okay.
And this lot 3 is the only one that fronts Vivian Broadus, so that requires us. We could have done
Okay,
this.
in lot 3, now, they enter and at pre-subdivision, they enter and exit from,
Broadus Loop.
gotcha, okay.
What's
That's this
CLF
one.
up there by the gate?
What's that?
CLF? What's that line?
That's the gate, the existing gate. I'm not sure what CLF stands for, honestly.
I mean, the gate doesn't go across the whole part, does it?
Yeah, is it 2 gates? It looks like maybe it's 2 gates.
Yeah, it's
It's
one
a-
fence.
Gate.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
fence line there.
Fence goes all the way
Okay, fence
across.
line, okay.
Chain link fence, CLF.
There you go.
Okay.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
It's lot 3, the only one getting a waiver for.
Yeah, lot 3, this requires a waiver.
Okay.
Otherwise, we could have done it administratively.
Any other questions?
No, I'm good.
Commissioner Whitehead?
No.
Commissioner Byrd?
No.
Commissioner Lowry? Commissioner Lowry?
That's all.
All right. No other questions. We can move on to the next one, which is SD 2204, which is the other side of the road.
Case SD 2204. This is number 4. Same owner, same surveyor. This is a 4-lot minor subdivision, and this is just basically on the opposite side of the road. Same scenario, and it's 4 lots. Minimum lot size is 0.37 acres, and it's R1 as well. And it's just, come on. That one I just showed you is this lot, and this is just across the street. and they'll have these two lots that front Vivian Broadus.
Can you blow that up, Jeffrey?
Mhm.
We don't all have young eyes like that.
So you have lot 1 that fronts Broadus Loop, lot 2 that fronts Broadus, and then lot 3 and 4 will be fronting Vivian Broadus.
Good. Councilwoman Joyce,
Nothing.
Commissioner Lovely,
Nothing.
Commissioner Davenport.
Still trying to read it.
Yeah.
I gave it away. So that has an existing, I say, it says existing?
Yeah,
Brick house.
the house
Okay.
is here.
Okay, got it. Thank you. No questions.
Commissioner Whitehead,
I have no questions.
Commissioner Byrd,
No question.
Commissioner Lowry.
There's 3 and 4 is on one for the waivers on this.
Yes, sir, that's right.
That's all I have.
All right, with no other questions, we can move on to the next thing on our agenda, which is site plans. And we have commercial site plan 22-01, Triple C Properties. Jeffrey's got that. He's gonna pull that up for us.
Case CSP 2201, applicant is Tommy Christopher and Triple C Properties. This development is a proposed 2-phase development. Phase 1 will consist of boat and RV storage, and Phase 2 will consist of a self-storage facility. Phase 2 will be developed at a later date, but will come back to y'all to be approved before that happens. Phase 1 is now up for approval and will start construction immediately if approved. This application is considered a special exception in a B2, which is general business, and that has been approved through the BZA for a special exception use. And that's for the whole piece of property. Driven Engineering has reviewed this plans and comments have been addressed. And this is at Stone and McCrary Road. I'm sure some of y'all have seen that already. It is B2. It's 1.2 acres, and surrounding zoning is a mixture of R1. Most of it's B2, front McCrary Road, but there are some R1s behind it. Everything has been submitted and paid. And this is that property I'm talking about. And this would be Phase 1, and then he'd do Phase 2 at a later date.
Phase 2 is, I'm assuming that area just below Stone Road, is that correct?
No, it's the one. It's this one right here.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll show you the site plan. This would be his boat and RV storage. And like I said, you would do the self-storage, but he'll come back later and do that. Driven, they looked at all the drainage calculations, they looked at the site plan. Everything was good to go. And the landscape plan is separate, and I'll show you all that in a
I
second.
just want to show them. This is the McCrary Road. This would be the entrance off McCrary Road. And to come back to the covered storage here, that would be for the boat and RV. And later on, he wants to do the actual mini storages right here. This will all be asphalt at a future date. Detention ponds up here. All the water is basically going to end up coming down here and into here, and then released into the right of way.
Phase 1 was not gonna be asphalt, was it?
Also gravel.
Yeah, all this right here is gravel. The little specks that you see is gravel.
And he got approval for the storage unit from the BZA.
It's a special
Yeah,
exception.
special
That's an
exception.
exception.
But all we're talking about is Phase 1, correct?
Yeah.
Is that it? You wanna do the other?
Yeah,
plan?
I'll show you the landscape plans here. So we'll have landscape out here by the detention area. You got a couple of trees on the south side of this property, and then they're lining this whole side of phase one up to the north side, and then all this right here as well.
Good. Okay. Questions, comments?
What were the, comments that were addressed, that Driven raised? You mentioned that.
It was the width of the driveway, which was
What's that?
the width of the driveway, which was fine. He measured it out wrong on the plat, but it was correct on site. So
That was the only
that
one?
was that one. Yeah, that was it. That Driven had.
And
And
then-
first they had a landscape issue because he didn't want to put it all of it, but he ended up adding all of his landscape. So that was everything to do with that.
And as far as the landscaping goes,
Mhm.
all the green and up front, is that'll be with phase two if he does it?
Yeah, but
Or
it's
is
all
that to
one
be
pro-
done with phase one?
It's all one property. So like this is all.
But in theory, he could do phase one and not do phase two, if he don't wanna do the minis.
Yeah, if you don't want to build it, yeah.
But is that landscaping required as part
Oh
of
yeah,
phase
phase
one?
one, yes.
That's what,
yes.
that's what I asked.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And then as far as the drainage goes, that perimeter around phase two was all asphalt, and the water's gonna come forward to the front?
This pipe is running along the
Oh, okay.
southeast side of the property going into here.
Okay.
Will that drainage be part of phase one?
Yes.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Commissioner Lovelady?
My only concern was people, you mentioned boat storage and that kind of thing, being able to get out of phase one and through phase two area. It just looks like it's a very, the covered storage looks like it takes up a lot of space, but you said they already did look at that angle and how you would be able to, it doesn't
Yeah.
look like you'd be able to get out of it very well with a.
Yeah, and as of now, I mean, it's undeveloped and it'll remain undeveloped until phase two is approved.
That building may not be
Yeah.
quite as big as
Yeah.
the front
Oh,
building.
okay.
Because, I mean, yeah.
Okay, no more questions.
Commissioner Davenport?
Okay, let me make sure I understand. What you're saying, Jeffrey, unless I've misunderstood, is that there's no official driveway going to be there until and unless phase two. There's just gonna be gravel.
He already has
until
his.
phase two comes along?
He already has the driveway there.
Okay.
So it's good. It's just
Okay.
this is gonna be gravel, and then this will be paved later on eventually.
Okay.
But for now, it's gonna remain undeveloped.
But not the driveway, not.
No, right, he's gonna have the driveway.
That's what I
Yeah.
was getting
Yeah, the driveway will be
confused.
there.
Like, okay, so the driveway is there and it will
Yes.
remain there.
Yes.
And so Driven's concern was the width of the driveway on the plan was actually different than what was there.
Yes.
Now that they've looked at it and it's actually there,
It was
they are not concerned with Liz's.
right. It was
Okay.
like
Okay.
18. It was actually
Okay.
24 feet instead of 18.
Okay. So we're not, it would be like if you're got one of those very large RVs, it would be akin to the fire truck trying to get in and out of there.
And they would have to, I think that phase two is just a book holder, that box is a kind of a book holder with that, they're not sure what
Because
that
they're not
building's
sure.
gonna look like.
Okay, I got you. And you said there was a pipe running down the south side from right there.
Yes.
Is the same green on the top, on the north side of pipe as well?
I don't believe so. I think it's just
No,
on the
it's
southeast.
all
side.
of the drain, so all of the drainage is designed
It'll be running
to
all
run
from
down the
this.
south side of the property.
Correct.
Okay,
And run to this detention. pond.
gotcha. Okay, that's all I got.
Commissioner Whitehead? Commissioner Byrd?
No question.
And Commissioner Lowry?
If I understand, all the drainage is gonna be put in, irregardless whether it's do phase two.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I think.
All right, no other questions? We can move on to the last item on our agenda, which is comprehensive plan discussion. And I'm gonna turn that over to Jeffrey and Samara.
This is I was just trying to update y'all on the survey. This is some of the results from the survey. We ended up getting back 507, I believe it was, which I thought was pretty good. But this is some of the results from the computer ones. It didn't factor in some of the paper surveys that we have, but this kind of gave you an idea of the majority of the surveys that were returned. Because I think we had 451 online and then like 56 paper. So for the most part, it was females that did the survey.
Don't say no. I did it, okay?
I was one of the males that was there, by the way.
Good 74% to 24% basically. And then you have a 2% didn't respond. The ages, you had 19 to 35, it was 109 responses, so 24%. And then 36 to 50 was almost 39%. And then you had 51 to 75 was 30%. And it was pretty spread out here with how many years have you lived in Semmes. You got 5 to 10 was 18.5%, or less than 5 was 16, almost 17%. 11 to 20 was almost 21%, and then 21 to 35, 21.5% basically.
That's a good spread.
Yeah, it was spread out pretty well. Over 50 years was only about 7%. And this is your household size. So you got one person is 7.45%. It's 33 people. 5 or more was 16.93, was 75 people. 2 person, almost 31%, 136. And then 4 person, 113, 25.5%. That one's a little spread out there too. How satisfied are you with your school system, or your child's school system? Most people were very satisfied, 54%. And then you have somewhat satisfied, was not too far behind. And where do you work? The most there was Mobile County, with the City of Mobile not far behind it. And then I Am Retired came in 3rd place.
I can't believe only 4 go to Baldwin County.
Yep. 4 Mississippi, 4 Baldwin County. City of Semmes, 48. What areas should City Council focus on improving? Recreation and entertainment is number 1. 326 responses there. This one was like a multiple choice one, so you could select, I think, 3 of them. And then you got parks, playgrounds, ball fields, and then a downtown area. That was your top 3 answers there. Outdoor recreational facilities, do you want to see developed in Semmes? Trails for hiking, biking, walking, or birding.
Birding?
Yeah.
How many times did you?
Helen voted 303 times.
5 times.
Picnic area, playground, and dog park. That was your top 3 answers on that one. This one was the same scenario as the last question. I think you can answer, I think it's your top 3. You pick 3 answers. Or maybe, and you can select.
Zip lines.
75 zip lines.
Yeah.
Miss Bird requested
Took her for a skateboard.
This is kind of along the same lines. What kind of attractions would you like to see developed? Farmers market came in first. I was kind of surprised by that.
That's great, because we have an event coming up.
It's in the works.
Yep. Restaurant, dining, and entertainment. Your top three. Some shopping opportunities. Not far behind it. And three things you like about Semmes. I couldn't really do this in a pie chart because these were open questions. You can type in whatever you wanted to. So these were just the top answers. Was that it's a small town, it's rural and quiet. That was the answers that were written down the most on this.
We'll show that to the mayor.
Three things you dislike about Semmes was traffic, need more restaurants, and crime. And you would have some people write what they dislike about Semmes, they'd write crime. But then some people, in what they liked about Semmes, they wrote low crime. So it kind of, was some answers that we had along those lines. Needed most to keep teens, young adults in Semmes, entertainment, job opportunities, and more places to eat. And those answers were answered a lot. And that was it.
We could probably email those charts
Yeah.
to them if anybody's interested, just to have. I think it's good information.
Could you send them out?
Oh yeah.
It goes into a lot of detail.
And we can use this information for other committees, commissions. We can use this for anything, economic. I mean, whatever we want to use this for. It can help us through those committees too.
Great. So Mary, do you have anything you wanted to add to any of that?
I don't have anything to add. I would say if you once you send out the email to everyone, if you have any comments in terms of implementation strategies for any of the things that the people spoke kind of strongly about, that would be great, because we would like to hear from you all. So if there was something that was stated, like what services or facilities the people most wanted, what would be a way, or what's something that maybe already happens that you already addressed, or what could we do to make those things better? I know some of the data when we were looking at it, we were like, well, we kind of already do some of these things, and then, it would be great for us to have X, Y, and Z. So just, if you can email Jason and Jeffrey and they can get that information back to me in terms of what we can do in terms of implementation, that would be great. In terms of update on what we're doing now, we're currently meeting once a week. Staff and I are meeting once a week just to kind of keep abreast of, what's going on. I've been contacting all of your facilities. I have a survey out to them specifically, so fire department, police department, post office, library, so on and so forth. We're getting data back. I've already reached out to Chamber of Commerce. We're looking at business license information. So right now we're in the information stage, and so we will have drafts out. I would like to have a draft of where we are by next month, and have it to you to review, and then we can discuss. But we have to kind of get all this data in first.
That's great.
That's what we do.
Thank you. Jason, Jeffrey, do y'all have anything?
I just to add on to that, based on the survey or the schedule, we're pretty close to where we need to be. This was the biggest part of trying to get these facilities to give us the feedback that we've been requesting, especially the ones that we have no control over, like the post office and the library and things like that. But and even some of the departments, it's hard to get. Some of them more information was requested, like business license. They had to do a lot of digging to find what they needed. So we're kind of waiting on that stuff, but we are moving forward with things that we can be doing in the background, while we wait on this chapter review to be finished.
Good deal.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. The photos were great, and so, but I want to say that first, they were amazing. And then,
That's okay.
I was gonna say, that's all she wanted to hear.
like we looked at them like, oh, this is really good, we need to hear. So they were really good. You can get them to me as you receive.
Jeffrey gave me this to dump
Okay.
on it.
You want to do that, or she can email them to you, or?
I can only email, can't use messenger or text or
Right,
anything for
there's no
large,
flash.
because you need the full resolution.
Okay.
But-
You can put them on the flash drive, and since we're meeting, twice a month anyway, I can just get it back from you whenever you.
Okay, and then, well, that was my question was, when you need the rest of them?
As soon as you can. It's no rush, because if we have to put placeholders for photos, that's fine. So
Okay.
that's not a rush, but just as soon as possible.
Alright, and then I might get some guidance on, I mean, I know what's going in it, but, what you wanna
Right,
see for certain areas.
right. Yes, I can get specific if we want to, but in general, we just wanna see.
I just sent that group, just so you can see if they would
Right.
work size-wise and stuff.
And I can send you something specific. I'll send you a list of specific things that we wanna see, and then if there's anything else that, I may have forgotten, you can just kinda add that on.
Right, I mean, like for demographics or
Right.
something, whether or not you wanna just see a bunch of kids running around grabbing Easter eggs, or.
That would be great.
Okay.
That would be good.
That's what I just want to get an idea.
Yeah.
I have a few to look through.
Okay, that wraps up our agenda, so with no other business, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
And we're adjourned at 5:50. Thank y'all.
Wow. I thought Jeffrey way over an hour this meeting would last.